I love to be alone. I never found a companion that was so companionable as solitude. In solitude, the mind gains strength and learns to lean upon itself. I wish I could show you when you are lonely or in darkness the astonishing light of your own being. The sun is alone too, but it still shines. I restore myself when I'm alone. There is a magic in walking alone, in thinking alone. If there is no one to contact you around, the universe starts contacting you. When I get lonely these days, I think, so be lonely, Liz. Learn your way around loneliness. Make a map of it. Sit with it, for once in your life. Welcome to the human experience. But never again use another person's body or emotions as a scratching post for your own unfulfilled yearnings. Look at the sky. We are not alone. The whole universe is friendly to us and conspires only to give the best to those who dream and work. Sometimes you need to sit lonely on the floor in a quiet room in order to hear your own voice and not let it drown in the noise of others. People in love always tried to match the singles together, but what they didn't realize was that some people were meant to be alone. There was nothing wrong with that. You only grow when you are alone. The strongest man in the world is he who stands most alone. I live in that solitude which is painful in youth, but delicious in the years of maturity. Without great solitude, no serious work is possible. My favorite hobby is being alone. I like to be alone. I also like dancing, fishing, playing poker sometimes, and vegetable gardening, corn, tomatoes, cucumbers. I have a big garden every year. Until you get comfortable with being alone, you'll never know if you're choosing someone out of love or loneliness. Sitting alone, sleeping alone, acting alone, let the diligent one enjoy the forest, taming the self alone. The greatest thing in the world is to know how to belong to oneself. My alone feels so good. I'll only have you if you're sweeter than my solitude. By all means use sometimes to be alone. Salute thyself, see what thy soul doth wear. Loneliness is sad, aloneness is blissful. Loneliness adds beauty to life. It puts a special burn on sunsets and makes night air smell better. If you make friends with yourself, you'll never be alone. Solitude is independence. What a lovely surprise to finally discover how unlonely being alone can be. Ultimately, what I like about reading together is that we all make it happen together. Of course, even amid shared experience, we're still alone. Each reading of each book is unique. But what a comfort it is to share readings and experiences. How lucky we are when we get to be alone together. You are never alone, if you can talk to your conscience. It's better to be unhappy alone than unhappy with someone, so far. I don't want to be alone, I want to be left alone. But there it is, everyone is alone, for life, and maybe that's not such a bad thing. There is something immaculate about loneliness which only lonely people can understand. Loneliness expresses the pain of being alone, and solitude expresses the glory of being alone. I am not alone, in my aloneness. Don't you realize the internet is just a way for millions of sad people to be completely alone together? All alone. Whether you like it or not, alone is something you'll be quite a lot. Loneliness is and always has been the central and inevitable experience of every man. I'm not much, but I'm all I have. All great and precious things are lonely. Being alone has a power that very few people can handle. The soul that sees beauty may sometimes walk alone. Life could be wonderful if people would leave you alone. No one saves us but ourselves. No one can and no one may. We ourselves must walk the path. There is a magic in walking alone, in thinking alone. If there is no one to contact you around, the universe starts contacting you. Laugh and the world laughs with you, snore and you sleep alone. It's easy to stand with the crowd, it takes courage to stand alone. Sometimes, you find yourself in the middle of nowhere, and sometimes, in the middle of nowhere you find yourself. When you learn how to be alone, you'll discover the difference between alone and lonely. Being alone has a power that very few people can handle. The greatest thing in the world is to know how to belong to oneself. Loneliness is sad, aloneness is blissful. I enjoy being alone, my soul is at peace in the silence. We come into this world alone, and we leave the same way. Better to be with no one than to be with the wrong one. Standing alone is better than standing with people who don't value you.